The Quest Pro is a funny little device. It was the headset that came out in between the release of the Quest 2 and the release of the Quest 3, and it was meant to be the headset that gave virtual reality more of a practical use in the workplace and as a gaming device. And unfortunately, it fell short on both of those marks. By a lot. The Quest Pro was such an underwhelming device that the price of it went down by $500 4 months after its release. And that probably has to do with the fact that it released for $1,500. But that's not the main focal point of this video. The main focal point of this video is, was the Quest Pro so bad that it actually held back virtual reality for years to come? I think it did a little bit, and I'm here to tell you why. So to start off, what was the Quest Pro offering in comparison to the Quest 2? Well, it was actually the first Quest headset to have mixed reality, with you being able to see your surroundings through the home environment. As well as this, it came with controllers that could be tracked better because the controllers themselves actually had cameras on them. But that wasn't really the big thing. The big thing was that it had a much better CPU, it had pancake lenses, it had eye tracking and face tracking, as well as a couple other little upgrades. Now, was it worth 5 times as much as the Quest 2? Absolutely fucking not. This seemed like a headset that was targeted towards businesses to solve a problem that didn't even exist. And it was probably the first Quest headset where gamers felt a bit left out when it came to features for them. And the sales absolutely flopped. After 4 months, they had to reduce the price to $1,000. And as I'm making this video, they are currently available for £500, and that still isn't worth it because the Quest 3 is so much better. And it's also cheaper. I mean, it literally only took 1 year for the Quest Pro to be discontinued. But the Quest Pro was not all doom and gloom. From a hardware perspective, the Quest Pro is a very important headset, and this is because a lot of the features of the Quest Pro actually rolled over into the Quest 3 headset, bar the face and eye tracking. And after ditching the unnecessary features of the Quest Pro, Meta were able to create the Quest 3, which is a very good headset at a very affordable price. So yeah, even monumental failures have their lessons, but that is about as much good as I'm going to be talking about the Quest Pro at the moment, which is tough to say really because it is still the headset that I use to this day. Right, so we know it was bad from a commercial standpoint, but what about Meta themselves? I mean, surely from this headset there must have been more from just an expensive lesson to come out of this. Well, actually no, not really. In fact, that geezer that I mentioned last video, John Carmack, actually came out publicly and stated that he wanted to kill the headset before it was released. Like, do you understand how bad a device has to be publicly condemned from the people from the company who made the headset? John Carmack knew that the headset was going to be a massive commercial flop and that it was going to take away valuable time from actual mass marketable headsets. This actually came out in a tweet that he put out quite a while back, and something that I've seen quite recently from a video by Get Hip is that Meta's stock price tanked around the release of the Meta Quest Pro. Like, you can literally see the release of the Quest Pro on the stock price history just by looking for the massive dip around 2022. Do you know how mental that actually is? Do you know how much of a failure you had to be to tank the stock price of a company with your release? But it doesn't even end there. The time and the resources that they spent on making the Meta Quest Pro could have easily been made on a more mass marketable headset such as the Quest 3. This headset could quite possibly be the reason why we don't have the Meta Quest 3 Lite yet. It is just as well Meta decided to cut back on their mistakes and just double down on trying to market the Quest 2 instead of going out of their way to market the Quest Pro anymore. I feel like Meta ended up cutting their losses when they needed to, but regardless, they should never have experienced those losses in the first place. When one of the biggest brains behind Oculus tell you it's going to be a commercial failure, you listen to that person, especially if that person is John freaking Carmack. But look, we'll come to the conclusion that the Quest Pro was overpriced and it under-delivered. It was made to solve a problem that nobody had, and even with the little cool things that came with it, such as the cameras inside the controllers, the Quest 3 just proves that you didn't even need them. Everything about the Quest Pro became obsolete as soon as the Quest 3 launched, and the Quest 3 didn't launch like a long time after the Quest Pro, so Meta were essentially marketing a headset that had cost them nearly billions, that was only going to have a life cycle for the maximum of a year, and they still ended ended up making far too many headsets. Which, by the way, they are still trying to sell on the official Meta website, when you can pick one that is still in its packaging for less than half the price just by doing a quick search on eBay. Honestly, the more I think about this headset, the more it actually pisses me off that I bought one. But then again, I'm a VR YouTuber, it's what I do. So anyway, that was my video on the headset that was so bad that it actually halted the progress of VR more than it actually helped out. I do want to thank you for watching this video. I know I made a Quest Pro video in the past talking about similar things, but I didn't actually realize how bad the Quest Pro was, and I think that alone deserved its own video once again. So if you want to see some more positive VR content, feel free to check out my channel. Also, it would be highly appreciated if you were to leave a like on this video. Thanks again, it's Cammy, and I'll see you in the next video.